So we are going to start off with the basic things, the big things that we need to start buying before we start the whole project. Let us look at this. These are standard products that you get in Home Depot or Lowe's. You can buy it in US. And of course, this is what I'm trying to say here is for the local market in the United States. So you have the stairs that you can get, probably 5 or 7 or 9, whatever is the thing that you need. You can probably cut it, and here in our house we decided to keep a 5-step Golu. So we bought 2 of these, and some people, depending on the size and the length, they probably go with 3 so that the center one turns out to be a support. So it's all going to be like this. So it's going to rest on one side, and then the broad side can be a step, and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 steps. So if you decide to buy a longer one, you can get more steps. This forms one side and this forms the other side. Now between these two, basically, I used to use the planks before, just a standard plywood. This year just wanted to try it a little bit different and decided to put one of these wired things which are fairly available easily. This is about 4 feet. You can probably buy 6 feet, 8 feet depending on the size or the length of the step that you need for each of these putties. So this is 4 feet standard and about 1 feet in width. It goes on top like this, and in order for the dolls to have a bit more stability, I'm going to use a standard very thin plank. Again, this is not going to give any support other than covering the holes. Put it on top, and this is the way the putty is going to be for all the 5. So that is in a broad perspective in terms of how the putty is going to look. But let's start looking at what exactly we need to do for see the things that we need to start off. I put all the things over here so that you can just see it in a nutshell. We need a high powered drill set with a key, and this is primarily used for making hole. The reason that we need to make the hole is we are going to be using some heavy duty nuts, longer nuts, with a washer and a lock. The lock is needed very much, and the appropriate nut. I just have a couple here as a demonstration, but it's a good idea to buy about a dozen of them ahead of time, so that depending on the size you can just put the hole. These are going to be holding these steps on the main platform that I'm going to show, which is going to be the foundation. And along with this, you also need a smaller drill set, like a screwdriver, so that in case you need to put smaller screws, you can just tie it. We have a spanner. Of course, there are different sizes spanner depending on the nut and bolt that you're going to buy. And we need a tape, a pencil to mark exactly where the holes are going to be, a level, very very important, because if it is not leveled, the whole thing is going to be a fiasco. And of course a measuring tape. We have here a few things that are going to be customized depending on how you want the Golu Padee to be. We have this L bracket which have holes on both sides so that it can form shapes for the foundation. So you can just put one like this. You can put the nuts and bolts and make it all strong. So I'm going to show it in terms of how the whole thing is going to be constructed, but I'm just showing it to you in terms of what are the things that you will need to buy before you start the project. So buying about 3 or 4 feet, maybe 4 pieces of these, 4 pieces of these, 4 pieces of these, 3 feet of this type. It's again, I'm just going to show the concept and let you design the size that you want. So let's move in and check out what exactly I have done so far for building the foundation. So here you have the foundation that I started building. Again, started this morning, put that L shape over here with a few of these 3 feet going across. It can be bigger for you depending on whether you are having a centerpiece or not. And then you have the smaller L shapes that are also going to be giving support. Again, this is not an engineering design that has to be like exactly the same. you can decide which one works best for you. So once you build this, the next step is going to be showing as to how you assemble the whole thing put together, and you can just watch it in the next video. So here we are going to be taking the steps on how to measure it and how to make sure that everything is going to be built as per the plan that we want. So have the pencil in hand and the level. So here I wanted to raise this just a little bit, that's why I put the brake, otherwise you don't have to necessarily. It's going to be flat. So I bring it around here and make sure that this one is level. So as you can see, it has to be level with a bubble in the middle, and you might need help here because the first time that you're going to mark where the holes have to be here on synchronizing with this, you have to make sure that this one is also plumb. In other words, it has to be at 90 degrees to the ground, and this has to be also plumb. So with this and this at 90 degrees, you have to mark exactly where you want the hole to be. You can mark two places, put the holes, and then you're going to drill the larger nut and bolt that you have. So you use a heavy duty drill, put the holes. I have marked it over here. You drill the holes, and through that you can have the nut and bolt so that it can hold on to this. Same thing you're going to do it for the other side too. Now the trick is, when you do these things, make sure that the next time you assemble it, it becomes easier if you write in terms of this is going to be the top, inside, so that you know that when you are going to disassemble this and put it the next time, it becomes a lot more easier. So you can remove the nuts, take this out, disassemble the whole thing. Next year Golu, you can get the whole thing done in about less than an hour. So let's go in and check as to how the whole thing is going to fit. I'm going to go down and drill the holes, come back and show you as to how the whole thing is going to fit. Okay, what I'm going to do right now is, since many of you may not be as conversant with how to drill a hole, especially using these kinds of heavy driller, I'm just going to show you as to what I have used in the past to make a large enough hole so that you can have the nut going in. So I'm using one of these small drill bits which comes in various sizes like this. So we can go with a bigger one or a smaller one, and let me just start off with the first one. So as you can see, holding it further, and you want a little bit of gap so that it doesn't go right into the carpet. It's advisable to do it in outdoors because it's a cold weather. I'm not able to do it. You can probably do it even in the garage, and this wood serves as a platform so that once this finishes, you know exactly that it is not going to hit the carpet, and the paper of course is for the dust. So hold the drill straight and slowly start drilling it. So you saw that what exactly happened. It went hit, but because I had the raise, it didn't really go and damage the carpet. So now it has made a small hole here, as you can see. You can come up and just see that I'm going to make this a large enough hole so that this nut can go in. So obviously this doesn't go in right now. So I'm now going to increase the size of this. This is more detailed than most people want, only because this is mainly for the beginners who want to put together a Golu Padee. So bear with me for a minute, those seasoned people. So now it becomes a lot more easier, as you can see. So still we have a little bit of a problem. So I'm going to use a much bigger drill set. The reason I'm taking it step by step is so that it does not give a problem for those of you who are trying to just use one of the bigger drill sets and only to find that it doesn't really do the job, or maybe the drill set breaks or something, because it can sometimes be tough to put the biggest drill set in the first place and do it. So hopefully this is the last time I have to do it. So now this is done. Hopefully we should be able to get this thing. So you see, now you can use the nut and bolt and get this thing taken care of. So that is, hopefully that is good enough at this point to get it through that thin metal strip that we have. And I'm going to drill one more hole here, and same thing for the other one. And once I finish it, I'll tell you how we are going to fix it over there. So now that we have drilled the holes, as you can see, I drilled 2 holes over here. Just brought it in and set it up against this. So you have to align it and make sure that this is plumb. That's why I said that you have to make sure you see that it's right in the plumb line. So just once you have the plumb and this is vertical, you have to make sure that this is also in line. So you see that it's straight. You can see the middle one, it's plumb. So it has to be at 90 degrees. Then you put this and it's going to hold. So make sure that you use a locker. That's one of the often forgotten things. Put the locker in and the nut. So we won't tighten it right now, we'll tighten it later. And then I put the second one. Now this has formed the basis for the support. So sometimes if it doesn't go in, just use a small hammer that you can use to just hammer it in, because it's the first time I'm doing it. So it just goes in and comes out. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
So make sure you put the lock and the nut. So that you have to make sure that the plumb line is not affected at any given point, and this is the most important stuff. You want to make sure that it's standing straight. So you can see the plumb line here, you can see the plumb line here, perfect. So we are going to do the same thing on the other side, and once I finish that, we'll take the next section. Well, welcome back. Now I have finished assembling the 2 sides, as you can see. Side 1 where we started and side 2. Make sure, very very important, after you put the holes, as you drill it, if it's your first time that you are assembling, make sure that you write like what I have given here. Like this is the top. When I'm facing the Golu, this is the right side. So top, I said new inside only because I used this last year for the other side, and so this is the version 2 of the Golu Padee. So you can see that this is the right side, or, and I said inside so that you don't take this and put it on that side or flip it or whatever. And same thing I had put it for this side too, where it says top, new, and left inside. Now that I have bolted it, all we have to do is just tighten it, because as you can see, the level marker is right now in the center over here, and when I keep it here, it's also in the center on the top. You can see that both the levels are fine, and same thing with this too. Don't worry about it. If it's just off by about a couple of millimeters here and there, that's okay. You can see that this is straight and plumb in here too, and same thing with here. You can just see that everything is like almost. So given that, what we are going to be doing next is tightening the screws so that it stays in that place. So once you have adjusted this, make sure that you use whatever you have at home to tighten it. You may not have all the tools, so be innovative in terms of using the different tools to find the right spanner and set, whether it's cutting plier or this kind of a device or whatever you can call it. I'm not being too technical here because I may not be telling the right terms. So this is only for people who are not handymen, who are not the pros, and who want to still put together something to make their Golu look nice. So you can tighten all of these nuts. And then I'll tell you what we are going to be doing next. Okay, now that I added a crossbar, as you can see over here, 2 crossbars. The reason it's called the crossbar is you don't want to have it straight. You just want it from one point above to the above point below, or however you want it. But for some reason, if you just put it straight parallel to each other just because it looks aesthetically great inside, it doesn't do the work. So just do it like a cross and gives a stability. You see, right now I'm just shaking it. And the other important thing as you're doing the whole thing is the level. Make sure the level is complete. For example, right now I'm just going to put it on this. It's a magnetic level, so I just leave it like this. You can see that it is right in plumb, right in the middle. And I also want to make sure that horizontally everything is fine. You can see that it is plumb. So this is a very, very important thing, because as you start putting the putty, the steps, it's going to be difficult for you if it is not right in. So just let's make sure that the level is complete all through. And here what we see is that it's not plumb only because this one is a little bit sagging. So I'm going to put this, and hopefully you see this one is just one of the step, it's straight. So this was actually a bar that was not the right thing to test. So right now you can just see that it's plumb, and this is going to be one of the step. On top of this, what we are going to be doing, which you will see, is I'll be putting this plank, and this is what the final product is going to look like. However, before that, I'll make sure that this is fastened and everything is going to look good. Okay, so just bear with me for a few minutes and we are going to do this. Well, we have finished putting the screws, and we have put on all the bolts that is needed, the big screws, and created the 2 pillars of support that is required in the rear. And after putting this, we have also created a crossbar, so it creates a little bit more stability. So as you can see, putting it cross creates more stability for this. And next, what we are going to be doing is actually putting the whole thing together, all the shelves, just nailing it all down. When I say nailing it, I mean just making sure that everything is stable. Practically we are trying to make it so that we do not have to use any of the nails or hammer, so that it's easy for us to dismantle and reassemble it for the next year. So let's put things all together and see how it looks. Just wanted to finish up this by adding a few adjustments that I did recently. What I did yesterday was, from the earlier shots that you might have seen, the rod was actually much longer. That's because I thought of putting something in the back and extending it to make some decorations. Some of that, whatever idea I had, did not work out, so I decided to replace this 4 feet rod with a 3 feet rod here. So as you can see, it has now come flush with this. So and then I added the crossbar So now everything is like uniform. So that was the only change that I did from the earlier design that you saw. So just adjusted that a little bit to bring in more stability and flush with the height of this. So this is about 3 feet, and I added a couple of bricks in the bottom only to give it a bit more of a height. So other than that, everything else is exactly what I told earlier. And I also added this one only because I didn't want the beams to be moving. It was more like to help me with the keeping these two parallel. You can probably do that to make sure that when you take the level and make sure that it is vertical and horizontal, you might want these things not to move as you're making these adjustments to the back. So other than that, it's done. I hope you can get some use out of this video. If you have any suggestions, please do send me an email, teamrambala@gmail.com or ram.bala.us@gmail.com. Thank you very much for watching this video.